Well, following the Lakers signing DeAndre Ayton, along with them bringing back Jackson Hayes, their biggest needs shifted from a center to now more 3&D wings and simply more two-way talent on their team. I mean, pointing to their current team and their current roster, it's filled with a bunch of one-way talent in my opinion. Pointing to guys like Luka Doncic, Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, Dalton Connect, more so known for their offense and not really their defense, or then for guys like Jared Vanderbilt or Jordan Goodwin, known for their defense but not really their reliable offense, so that's definitely a problem for their team. Especially pointing at the wing and at shooting guard and small forward, in the modern NBA you definitely need two-way talent and multiple of them too. Not simply one guy you can rely on or one guy that can kind of do it, you typically need multiple 3&D wings and multiple two-way players at that spot. However, the problem here is that neither the free agent market or the current trade market and the trade targets we've heard them being linked to are not really a great option for them at this point. I mean, looking at the free agent market, you got guys like Amir Coffey, maybe a Cody Martin left, not really a lot of two-way talent or reliable two-way talent. And then for the trade market and who we've heard about them being linked to, somebody like Andrew Wiggins for example, definitely could or would fit in my opinion, but currently has a pretty high trade price according to reports. Or then for a guy that fans speculate about like Herb Jones for example, maybe is available, likely not, and even if he would be, would also have a very high price for him. So could there potentially be an option that we haven't weighed yet and might be able to fill their need and actually fit their timeline with Luka Doncic? Well, one guy that I've seen fans mention and a player that actually might be available at this point is restricted free agent Quentin Grimes. According to The Athletic and two different reporters from The Athletic, both from Kelly Iko and Tony Jones of The Athletic, he might be available due to different contract opinions and outlook between himself and the Philadelphia 76ers. This coming from Kelly Iko, him saying quote unquote, "To this point, there has been little to no movement with restricted free agent Quentin Grimes and the Philadelphia 76ers. Which, like I said, might lead to him becoming available and taking a different contract with a different team. Though the problem for him here is that there's pretty much no team left with cap space, definitely not enough cap space to give him that kind of salary, which reportedly is around a $25 million per year kind of contract is what he's looking for here. So to get around that, he would have to sign via sign and trade, not simply taking a contract with a different team, and apart from the 76ers actually giving that to him, he will have to get it from a different team here. And well, should the Lakers be that team and would they have the ability to offer him that contract? Well, yes, I guess they could via sign and trade if they want to. If they want to offer him that contract or something near it, in my opinion it might not take that much, as we often hear about agents and players bluffing, usually taking a little bit under what they reportedly want and what they're asking for. But regardless, it would take a pretty large contract to get him, so we'd have to sign him to that contract and then actually match the salary coming in too, which would likely mean trading a guy like Rui Hachimura or a combination of expiring contracts to actually fit Quentin Grimes in for their team and for that contract. So with that in mind here, we'll talk about what it would look like, if it would be worth it, the player that Quentin Grimes is and the season that he had last season, if that would justify giving him that contract and going through the trouble of making a sign and trade for him, and simply about this situation with him. So without further ado here, beginning with Quentin Grimes and the season that he had last season, which was a very impressive one. I mean, after being traded to Philadelphia, he definitely broke out, averaging roughly 22 points per game, 5 rebounds per game, 4.5 assists per game, 1.5 steals per game, and shooting a very impressive 47% from the field and 37.3% from beyond the arc on nearly 8 3-point shot attempts per game. And yes, you do have to realize that came with no Joel Embiid on the court, no Tyrese Maxey on the court, kind of them simply tanking at that point and giving him a bunch of free will to be their number one option, which he likely wouldn't be on a different team. I mean, showing that he could be a top 3 option potentially, but probably never having that much free will on the court or simply the offense built around him again like that. So keep that in mind here. He did show what he could do as a top 2 option, but also probably not what he would be for a team like the Lakers here. In my opinion, that would be more so what he showed back in Dallas and before that with New York, averaging between 11 to 14 points per game on some efficient 3-point shooting, playing 47 games with Dallas last season and averaging about 10 points per game, shooting a very impressive 40% from the 3-point line, taking 4.3 per game with their team, Even better on corner 3-point shots, knocking those down at a 45.5% clip, which accounted for roughly 30% of his 3-point shot attempts. So looking at that and what he did with their team and the role that he filled with their team, that being a 3&D wing for their team, kind of playing off the ball most of the time and getting a little bit of on-ball opportunity, but not even close to what he got in Philadelphia. So kind of balancing that out here and trying to find the true contract worth for Quentin Grimes here. What would it actually be between what he showed in Philadelphia and what he showed in Dallas, or even before that point too? Well, you definitely got to factor in the age here with him. Only just turned 25 roughly 2 months ago, so like I said, he would fit the timeline of a Luka Doncic, would fit the timeline of a different young contending team for that fact, so it's different compared to a 30 to 32 year old that might have 2 to 3 good years left and wouldn't be worth a long-term contract via sign and trade. But for Quentin Grimes, that's definitely not the same as a older player again. That kind of factors in here with what he showed in Philadelphia and simply from what he showed as a 3&D option in general. So in my opinion, with the salary cap going up and continually going up over time, I mean a max contract salary at this point is roughly $70 million per year. I think that Quentin Grimes would be worth roughly $20 million per year, maybe not quite $25 million per year. I think you definitely could make that argument, and at the end point of a 4-year contract, I think I'd give that to him, but for next season, I'd probably offer him something about $20 million per year, simply for next year, then going upward about 5% for annual raises, accounting for roughly a 4-year contract worth $90 million. Again, not quite the $25 million per year kind of contract, but pretty close to it, making it a little bit less for next season, but going up over time and eventually giving him what he wants. So in my opinion, if the Lakers could actually get him for that contract, and if you would take it, then do a sign and trade with Philadelphia, I think it would be intriguing for the right price. Now I'm not sure I'd give up Rui Hachimura for him. Gotta realize that we're talking about a sign and trade here, not a regular standard trade, so usually through a sign and trade you don't give up as much, and simply the team that's making the sign and trade and losing the player via sign and trade is simply trying to get something to not lose them for absolutely nothing. I mean, if it came down to it, maybe Rui Hachimura. I would much rather go the option of trading a guy like Gabe Vincent and or Maxi Kleber for him, making the money work that way. Maybe Vincent or Kleber with a guy like Jared Vanderbilt. Not sure that Philadelphia would want that in the contract with him, but again, I'd rather go that route than trading Rui Hachimura here. Preferably get Quentin Grimes without doing that and either keep Hachimura or then use him for a different trade, but ideally through a sign and trade, not giving up Hachimura here. Regardless though, the point here is that if we're taking money in, then we gotta send money out to make the trade work and stay below that second apron. After all, we literally have to stay below it. After the Lakers use their full mid-level exception, they are required to stay below that second apron, and as of right now, they're only roughly $3 million below it. So can't take back more than $2 million here, and then if they're trying to use their biannual exception, which I definitely would like them to use later on, then we actually gotta send out more money than we're taking in. So whether that's with Rui Hachimura, whether that's with a combination of Kleber, Vincent, or Vanderbilt, that's what we'd have to do to make the money work here. Again, kind of complicated, but definitely not impossible here. So the question kind of comes down to, is it worth it for a team like the Lakers? Should they try and go this route, adding a guy like Quentin Grimes who's shown to be a pretty good 3&D wing and a pretty good two-way option? Like I said, from the 3-point shooting, definitely can do that. Has proven to be a pretty solid defender, even being a primary defensive option back in New York, showing some of that with Dallas, but is not the best defender in the world, I guess. Not comparable to a guy like Herb Jones, but again, with guys like that, you never know about the trade price with the currently inflated trade market, especially for guys like Andrew Wiggins, like I said. Would it be worth it to go this route and avoid that route, or would you simply go the free agent route and maybe take a lesser option, but maybe a stopgap like Amir Coffey, maybe a Cody Martin? What route would you go here, and why would you take that route? Would it be the Quentin Grimes route? Would it be testing the current trade market, or simply going the free agent market and not having to give up assets? Let me know your thoughts about all of this and why you would actually take that approach in the comments down below. But I think that'll pretty much do it for this one. And if you enjoyed the video, then I'll greatly appreciate it if you dropped a like, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and hit that notification bell to never miss out when I upload a video. But as always, thank you for watching and have a great day or night.